Hey there everybody, welcome back to another Ark Survival Ascended video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy. This is the Game Vault, and we're going to revisit the a mod. And we're going to do another spotlight on it, because some minor things have changed since then, and I understand this mod quite a bit better now. So, let's cue up the music, and we'll get right to it. Alright, first off, this is a Cryo Storage mod, and it's Pelayori's Cryo mod, okay? I will leave a link to it down in the description below so you can get to it yourself. And it's a pretty simple mod to use. It takes the place of the regular cryo fridges, but they cannot exist together, and I'll show you what I'm talking about there. Now, we are in creative mode right now, so I can show off some of these features for you. Let's make one of these. Yep, there's the regular one. Put it right there, and let's make a regular cryo pod as well. And we got to go up to here. Go to weapons. Yeah. In fact, we can just do this. Boom. Okay, so I'm going to throw out a creature from a Pelayori's pod, and we're going to put him in a regular pod. I'm going to show you all the subtle differences and all that, and why I like this mod so much. Now, first off, this mod you don't have to have cryo sickness with this mod, which is fantastic. There's a lot of settings you can change, and we're going to go through all of those settings. But as you can see here, this is a regular cryo fridge, right? This is a regular cryo pod. We can see that the creature is an ovis, and we can see, you know, mutations, all of its stats and all that on it. It's pretty generic what we can see on it, right? We can see that it's a male once we look into it. Just glancing at it, though, we can't tell that it's a male because it's white, right? There's no color to it. Whereas the Pelayori's, we can see pink and then blue for female. So this one also shows how many points have been allocated to each statistic, how many mutations there are in each statistic, and how many times each thing has been leveled up. So let's go ahead and grab a creature that we've done some stuff with here, and I'll show you what we're talking about. Here's a nice simple one. The beaver, the Castroides. So we can look at him. He's blue. He's male. We can see that if we go to melee on him. Oh, wait. What? Has he not been leveled? I don't think he's been leveled. Hold on a second. I swear we leveled his ass. Yeah, we've leveled him. Why isn't it not working? Maybe I'm not looking at it right. Hold on. Let's go ahead and bring him back in. Okay. Oh, there we go. So we can see, if you look at the numbers where the weight is, 34, 0, and 10 are the three numbers there. 10 is how many times he's been leveled up in weight. Okay. That's what that's showing you. So the middle number is the mutations. The third number is the level ups. I don't know why it didn't show the first time, or maybe I was just being blind and I didn't see it. As you can see, it's blue because he's a male. It's very, very nice. Cryo fridge here, 120 storage. The Pelayori's defaults at 72, but this one has 150 in it, which is cool. You don't have to have one of these fridges to deploy creatures. There's a lot of settings you can change, which is great. The best part about the whole thing is this right here. This is the cryo terminal, and there's nothing in it. The cryo. We need to change a setting over here. The cryo terminal, and that's going to be thrown out once everything's done here. The cryo terminal. Go ahead and set all these up real quick. Forge, cryo terminal, there it is. Cryo fridge PCS. Confirm. There we go. Now everything should be okay. Alright, there's our guy back. So, what's going on here is this thing here will capture newborn babies. That you have the ability to capture newborn babies into here, and that's what it did with this baby Megatherium. So immediately upon birth, it is podded up. You don't even need to have pods in here, and it will still work if you have the settings done right. And I'll show you all these settings in just a minute. But it picks him up, boom, as soon as he is born or hatches, and puts him into a pod. There is no, it claims it too, which is great, but there's no imprint on it. So if you have tried with several people in it, and one person is working on breeding something up, he can go ahead and breed up a bunch of these things. And let's say he's breeding up Rexes for everyone and wants to give everybody a male and a female Rex. Well, you can leave 10 Rexes in here, 5 of each gender, and tell everybody, come grab one male, one female each. And as soon as they toss it out, it imprints onto them, then they can finish the raising process and all that. It's a fantastic little deal here, this thing. Now, what's cool is, too, you can say, all right, you know what, I want to, you can disable it if you don't want it to pick things up for some reason. You can kill all the dinos. You can kill the selected dino if you just want to select one. If you filter through, and let's say you're raising 2 or 3 different things at a time. I'm raising Megatheriums and Rexes, and I just type Rex up here. It'll show only the Rexes, then I can kill filtered dinos. There's a lot of leeway with this thing, right? This guy might be actually pretty good. So, it's a great tool to have. It's a late game tool. So let me show you where these things unlock for you here. I think there's just 3 of them, and that unlocks immediately, the cryo terminal. Right when you log into the game, that unlocks. But the problem is, it requires, there we go, level 88. It requires 100 element to run it, or to just build it. So you're not doing this until you've run at least some boss fights. You got a couple boss fights under your belt, and you have the extra 100 element, 500 polymer, 5,000 metal. It's expensive to build it. Not ungodly expensive, but it is pretty pricey to build it. Now, the actual cryopods themselves unlock way before the refrigerator, and you'll see regular cryopods unlock at 50. This is the cryo chamber, they call it, not a pod, and that unlocks at 51. Was it 10, 5, 4, 15, 2, and 4? The only thing difference is this requires double the amount of polymer. Otherwise, everything else is the same as the cost, right? And you can build this in your inventory, where this one requires a tech replicator, supply crate, or tribute terminal. Pain in the butt. This one you can do anywhere. Now, the cryo fridge itself, at level 50, a regular fridge opens up. At level 88, you open this one up. So it takes quite a bit to get here. And it's 60 points to open it. This one's only 20. So it's a lot more expensive. 25, 225, 15, and 60. Yeah, a lot more expensive to build it, too. About double. 50. Yeah, roughly double. So, yeah, a lot more expensive, comes a lot later. I literally spent one episode of this grinding out levels just so I could build a couple of these, because my pods were starting to run out. As you can see in here, there's a lot of them that are low. 15 days, 17 days, somewhere in that range. I was getting a little concerned. I didn't want stuff to start dying in the pod, and it's not hard to do if you're not paying attention. If you're not paying attention, man, those things will disappear on you, and then all of a sudden you're in deep trouble. We'll go ahead and put this guy up, and we'll toss this guy back out. Now, what else is cool with this mod is you can build for one thatch a cryo gun, and the cryo gun, you can just shoot a guy and put him into a cryopod. You can do that whether or not you have cryopods in your inventory. Depending on your settings, you can change that setting, which is really, really sweet. So, yeah, that's the basics on what level you have to be to build these things and the difference between them all. Let's go ahead and pick these up real quick. And we'll chuck them. Next up, we're going to look at the different costs, or the different settings you can use for your mod here. So first off, you need to be in admin mode. You can't do this if you're just playing on someone else's server and you're not an admin. You'll be able to do it if you unlock admin mode on your single player game, or if you have your own server and you're an admin on it. You're going to go up to Pelayori's Cryo Storage, and you got several choices of things here, right? Open mod configuration, admin dino backup menu, and then open mod logs. 3 choices here. So starting at the bottom. This shows you, I guess, if you back up the game. We haven't done anything like that. Oh, there we go. Triggered a config change on 5/19/2024. Okay. But no backup restore logs. Fair enough. That I never really messed with, so that's that. Here's the admin dyno backup menu. This will give you the ability, let's say you lose a creature, right? We'll just do something random and something unique. So we have a couple Ceratosaurs downstairs, right? 19 and 92. And these are juveniles. These are juveniles, I guess, when we potted them. So we're putting it over here, right? And it shows you exactly what it's all about and all this. We can give to my inventory or give to a different player if we had other players on the map. But I'm just going to put it in my inventory. I hit restore. And now I'll exit out. And look at that. And my Ceratosaur, all grown up, is downstairs right now. But here it is as a baby. Once again. Born again. Which is kind of neat. That's something I never really mess with in the game. It's way too cheaty. I can't think of a... I mean, I guess, you know, if we... The only time I could consider using that, I think, would be if we went into a boss fight and because of some weird glitch we got smoked and lost everything, I could see using that. Otherwise, that is way too cheaty, you know. But, yeah, that's how that thing works there. And the next thing up is the actual mod configuration. And this is great because there's so much you can do here, right? I mean, look at all these settings you can change. And we'll do the left column all the way down, then we'll do the right column. So you can prevent these guys from getting thrown out in caves. You can make it quicker to capture dinos, that sort of thing. You can affect the cryo sickness timer, make it longer, shorter, or right here I have it as a 0, so there's no cryo sickness. I can disable the auto cycle. So if I have a bunch of cryos in my hand and I toss one out, it's automatically going to cycle to the next one in my hand. That's good or bad depending on what you're doing. If I'm throwing out for a boss fight, for instance, and I want to throw out 20 Rexes and then get them all lined up, I don't have to keep going into my inventory and throwing more out or going to my hotbar. I can just hit R2, 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 and it will throw out everything I have until I'm done. The problem is if there's something else in your inventory that you don't want to throw out, you may accidentally throw it out if it's in there in the wrong position, so that's kind of a pain. You can make fully grown babies. Babies will get fully grown when you throw them out of a cryopod. You can pass imprint to the deployer, so give an imprint of whoever throws the cryopod. I want to kind of experiment with that and see if it actually will make something fully grown and fully imprinted when you chuck it out if you do that. That's really kind of interesting. Imprint amount to give. Minimum imprint value a bred dino will have. If it's 0, it won't have any effect. If dino has more imprint than the value, it will be skipped. So I guess you can give it some kind of imprint value on there. We're going to leave it at 0 for now. I never really messed with that, but it's kind of neat. Put that back to 0. Disable cryopod need charge. Cryo chambers will no longer need charging if enabled. So if I wanted to, yeah, I could just go in and change the setting and it wouldn't. All those cryopods I have, I wouldn't need a cryo terminal for them. Allow deploy in boss arenas, which is kind of cool. You can actually throw down in an arena or any area that restricts them, you know, if you want that checked or unchecked. Prevent dino healing and cryo. So with these cryos, your dinos actually heal inside the pods with this mod, unlike regular cryopods. And it's a fairly slow process. It's not, you know, it's not like an immediate thing or anything. You pot them up and then you chuck them back out shortly afterward. But if you're out exploring and you get a dino that gets beat to crap and you pot them up and switch them out for another one. Let's say you're doing some caving and you bring 2 baryonyx with you. Well, your first one gets beat up real bad. You pot them up, throw the other one out, continue caving. You get down to the artifact, you finish up, you clean up and all that, you decide to head out, you know, and you're a little beat up, you can look back at that first one that you potted, chuck him out and see which one's actually in better shape at that time, because he will have healed some And depending on how hurt he was and whatever this setting is, the healing multiplier, I keep mine at 1, will determine how much he heals up. Preserve cuddle needs. So, you know how when you cryopod a creature and you're trying to imprint on it, it'll tell you it wants food, it'll tell you it wants a cuddle, whatever, a walk. If you do this, and click that, when you pod them up and toss them back out, it will not change things. That's a common thing people like to do when they're raising dinos if it wants something stupid. Even, you know, I'll tell you, I'm as guilty as the next guy. I'll just keep podding and chuck until it says cuddle, because it's too easy not to, right? Especially with the way this is set up. I mean, it is what it is. Prevent deploy over level. If dino is greater than whatever, dinos over that level won't be able to be thrown out. Okay. This is the nearby cryo-fridge range thing. If it's greater than 0, it will require it to be near a fridge to throw the guys out. So that means you need to bring a fridge with you, a foundation, and a source of power, which is a real pain in the ass. I don't like that change. I like the classic cryopods, and especially for PvE. PvP, I get it, but for PvE, you know, it's kind of silly. Prevent deploy near enemy range. If it's greater than 0, it will prevent deploying dinosaurs near structures in the specified range, ranges, and foundations. So whatever that is, if I put this at a 5, you wouldn't be able to get within range of 5 foundations of my base to toss out a creature. You'd have to be further out. And that gives, you know, advantage to the defense in that case. You can't just run up and toss out a Giga and start chomping. Prevent capture in combat time. If the number is greater than 0, it will prevent capturing dinos if the dino is taking damage in the last specified seconds. So if I make this a 30, I won't be able to freeze that dino if it took damage in the last 30 seconds. So you won't be able to, like, emergency, take your guy out of combat or anything in that situation. We're looking over to the right-hand side. Cryo gun distance, range of cryo gun and foundations is 10. The cooldown is 0. Neuter gun distance, range of neuter gun and foundations is 10. And again, 0 for the cooldown. That's a different gun that you can actually neuter dinosaurs with, which is cool. Auto trap max range. Radius and foundations at the cryo terminal will check for born babies. So this is nice that you can adjust this depending on the size of your base or the size of your breeding area. If you've got, let's say you've got several of these traps and you want one to only focus on a certain creature, well, you can make this a lot smaller and just put it in the center of where those creatures are mating and dropping their eggs, and the eggs are hatching or whatever, and boom, they're all going to go into that one trap. You can have another trap for another group, and so on and so forth. The auto trap intervals, the seconds between born dino checks in the cryo terminal, so how often it looks for them. Allow cryo terminal on platforms. You can check that to do that. Disable cryopods requirement. Gives free cryopods and cryo terminal and cryo gun if no empty cryopods are found in the inventory. So that's kind of cool. Cryo terminal inventory slots. I think the default is 600, but you can change that. I put this one up to 1200. The cryo fridge inventory slots default is 72, like the old cryo fridges. I put mine to 150. Allow admin capture all. Admins can capture dinos from other tribe. That's kind of messed up. Max cryo terminals in range is 0. So I guess you can make that, you can put a number in there to make sure you can't have too many in an area. Cryo terminal limit range in which cryo terminal number is limited. It's 100. I guess that'd be foundations. Cryopod recharge speed multiplier. Speed multiplier for cryopods charge 2 is double the speed, etc. So that's how quick they recharge, If it takes a day for one to drain out, a day's worth of time, it takes a day to replenish it. You could speed this up and make them charge up real fast. I mean, yeah, look at that. It just keeps going and going. We could have all those pods charged right back up in a day if we wanted to, but I'll leave it at 1. Admin backup number limit. So remember we looked at the dinos and I pulled out that Ceratosaurus juvenile. This is how many dinos are held in the backup. 3,000 is the normal number. That's crazy. You can really go back. If you don't want the... Where is it? The disable cryopods requirement. That way you can't have it for the gun. you can have the cryo terminal give temporary cryopods. If that's enabled, the cryo terminal will store newly captured dinos in a one-time use only cryopod, rather than just claiming it. The cryopods can't be grinded. So you'll be able to, hatch things and all that. You don't need to put a bunch of cryopods into the terminal, and the creatures are going to go into there and hatch and all that. And good, you can keep the ones you want. The ones you don't want, when you throw them out, that cryopod's gone. If you don't want them, you can't grind them down or anything. It's a one-use thing. You can, just dispose of them some other way, but you're not going to be able to toss the creature out and reuse the pod, unfortunately. Disable kill gun XP. If enabled, the kill gun will not give any XP, so when you kill things with the gun, you get XP. Neuter gun, disabled modes, kill, neuter. If the checkbox is enabled, players won't be able to use that mode at all. Cryo terminal, don't give XP. If enabled, the cryo terminal will not want any XP for the dinos killed. Will not want any? Okay, I guess that's give it. And cryo fridge, allow deploy over time. If the time is greater than 0 and the require number cryofid option is greater than 0, cryo fridges will need to wait X amount of seconds before players can deploy cryo chambers near them. So, and again, that's a big 0. So there's a lot you could do with this mod. You can really customize it to suit your server, your gameplay, and all that fun stuff, and have a mod that really works for you and your people. And I think that's fantastic. It's one of the I looked at several different cryopod mods, and this one really caught my eye. I found this one to be completely fantastic. Hey, little baby. Like right now, I could use that cryo terminal. I think it would be great to have right now, but unfortunately, I don't have it. So, but you see there, we do have infinite cryos because I have that thing checked off. So we can just go, boom, and he goes right into a cryopod. Just fantastic. But yeah, that's Pelayori's cryopod mod. Again, this one I recommend. A lot of fun. Does a great job. I think it does everything you need in a cryopod mod, and it really instead of just making everything easier off the bat, it really gives you the opportunity to customize the way cryopods work and how you use them in the game, so that you can make it perfect for how you want to play. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't done so, please leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to ring that bell for notifications. I will see you next time. Until then, peace.